I would definitely like to dedicate this podcast to my sister, Amy Kang.
Hi, I'm Fari Wu, and this is Merlion Project, Stories of Resilience. Today, we are joined by Amy Kang. She is a mental wellness advocate, and she has schizophrenia, as well as is a single mother. And today, we're going to talk all about how she's overcome so many challenges. So, hi, Amy.
Hi, good morning, Fari. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. Maybe you can start by sharing with us your story about schizophrenia.
Okay, so I was diagnosed with schizophrenia at the age of 19. That time I was still studying in Polytechnic. And I remember that time I went to a adventure camp. A few days before the camp, I had many requests from my friends, the instructors' friends, and I was overwhelmed. And I wasn't able to have good night's sleep for about 7 days in a row. So after which I went for the camp, and during the camp actually I met with an incident. I actually antagonized someone, a passerby, and he actually uses a cigarette butt and flicked at me. So the moment he flicked that cigarette at me, I feel that the whole world changed. That I saw colors in my friends, the instructor friends' eyes, like blue color, red color, pink color. Then I started to behave hysterical, and I thought everyone was crazy. I didn't realize that it was myself that was behaving very abnormal. So then after that, they sent me back home. And when I was in my house, I was still thought that I was in Pulau Ubin. So I just keep on running around. That I was staying near to Kallang Stadium, so I just run around Kallang Stadium thinking that I am involved in an orienteering class in the Pulau Ubin. So I just run around and I sometimes shout and things like that. So I asked my mom for me to go back to school to study, and at first she was worried, but she just want me to assure her that I'll be fine. So I said, don't worry, I'll be fine. So I go back to school. When I actually reach the school, the first thing I go is to attend the class, and after the class I immediately go to the adventure club that I love to hang out. And I went to look for my friends, but I can't find anyone inside the club that I'm familiar with. It was about maybe 5-6 p.m. in the night, and I walk up to the 6-story building and there was no one. So I climbed over the ledge to a balcony like that, and there are some plants over there. So I heard voices, because schizophrenia, basically you hear voices. There's hallucination, delusions, and things like that. So I was actually at a very bad stage that time. It was very prominent positive symptom. So I heard the voices asking me to throw down a potted plant down the 6-story building. So I took my strength, threw it over the ledge to the downstairs to the level 1. And after I threw the potted plant, I'm not aware what happened after that. I just went off the building and I walked on Dover Road. Then when I was walking on Dover Road, the police car slowly came behind me, and one policeman and one policewoman came up, and the policewoman actually asked me this question. Miss, do you want to follow us to the castle? Actually, they call me Princess. So they say, Princess, do you want to follow us to the castle? So I say,
That's what you heard.
That's what I heard. That's what I remember. So I thought, okay, then I want to follow you to the castle, because I haven't been sleeping for the last 7 days. So that was how I discovered that I'm not well. And I went to the IMH. Doctor asked me a lot of questions, and after that, they diagnosed that I got schizophrenia. That was when I was 19.
Currently, how has it been from then till now?
Over the 30 years, right? So currently I'm 49 years old. So over the 30 years, I have a few relapses. Usually it's because of stress. And I remember 1 year was because of the death of my father. Actually in 2003, my father actually committed suicide. So I was very upset, but during that time, counseling was still not very common. So I didn't seek for help for counseling because I was ignorant. And in 2004, I decided to pack my bag and go to Taiwan for a 1 month backpacking trip. So during the second week of the Taiwan trip, I actually lost my sanity, and I actually became hysterical, and I fall into a relapse. I heard voices, I imagined that I saw things, and I was behaving very paranoia. So that was the onset of my, I think, second or third relapse. So after that, I actually recovered after coming back to Singapore. My sister, my mom actually brought me to the Institute of Mental Health again. So to me, like, Institute of Mental Health is just like my second home. So why do I say that? Because when I go in there, right, I actually feel very familiar. I feel that the nurses are like trying to help me, and the doctors are all trying to help me to recover. So I go there with a very positive mind, and I know that I can be cured if I follow the treatments. I feel that I'm stronger, and after learning some coping technique, I am more stronger to face the world with more resilience. So I do not look forward to going into the Institute of Mental Health anymore. Yeah, I looking at strengthen myself to cope with the outside world challenge. I mean the world challenge. Yeah, without the help of Institute of Mental Health nowadays. Yeah.
That's good that you have learned all these coping techniques to help you. And so, what has been the most helpful for you for your path of recovery?
I think that the able to be in a community of people that are very caring for you is definitely helpful. So in 2020, I learned about Chinese metaphysics art. So that one actually helps me to give me more understanding about my own self, and also I uses some of the technique to help me to prime myself. That means to focus my attention and my intention onto certain things like being well again, or maybe to have more inner peace. So I uses that technique to help me by doing like manifestation, or some people know it as meditation in the morning, to help me to ground myself, and then to make
think
me
more positive thoughts.
more positive thought. Yeah, that one does help me. But other than that, there are other factors that help contribute to my recovery. Like, I would definitely want to thank my son, who's 16 years old this year. My son is definitely my primary caregiver. Although he is just 16, he is just like a parent to me. You know, like recently I just went for my cognitive behavioral therapy with advanced practice nurse, and we were discussing about one term called the parification. So parification is about the children actually behaving like our parents because of certain situation in the house, that they are forced to grow up faster. He will take the lead and say, "Mommy, take your medication." Like every night at maybe 8 p.m. when I'm supposed to take my medication, he will remind me. And if I come back home like about maybe 11 p.m., he will say, "Have you taken your medication today?" You know, he will be always there to constantly remind me to take my medication. So he is really one very important person in my life that I can't live without. Yeah.
So the two of you kind of take care of each other.
Yeah, in a way, yes. Yeah. Yeah, then the other person, definitely I must say that is very helpful to me is my sister, my elder sister. She is like a role model for me, always a very upright person, and always like every time when I like go to her to maybe share about my problem, she will tell me that, "Amy, just do whatever that makes you happy. Just do whatever that makes you happy and follow your heart." So she gave me like there's no boundaries into the whatever is the limitation to my dreams. I wanted to start my own company, this sole proprietorship that I'm doing now, Amy Kang Metaphysics. So she just encouraged me, if you think that this is something that you want in life, go and do it. There's no regrets, you know, after that. So I'm really thankful to her, and definitely the other two siblings, like my elder brother and my younger brother, also contributed a lot to my recovery. They are all very concerned about me. They all love me a lot. So I think I'm very blessed. I'm very grateful for their in my life. Yeah.
That's good. I wanted to hear also, because you've already answered the question, but I wanted to hear like how the people around you reacted when they found out that you had schizophrenia.
So when I was 19, that time when I got schizophrenia, actually my family, like my late mom, thought that I was possessed by ghosts lah. So sometimes in the olden days,
They didn't understand.
yeah, so they thought that I'm being possessed. So she brought me to temples to want to cleanse me. So I'm grateful for her intention. Forgot your question. Also, one of the traits of our schizophrenia is that we have a fragmented mind. So sometimes, like when we are thinking about certain thought process, right, it will kind of like be interrupted by certain chemical in the brain, so that we will not be able to deliver our intended message in one full intention out. So that's one of the challenge I face.
I wanted to ask about like whether you take medication, or what has been helpful for you, like medication or therapy.
Yeah, I think this is a very good question. Definitely, I feel that medication is very helpful for me. Why do I say so? So I want to share a little story here. So about 2 years ago, I actually went to Kulai for a detox camp. So during that time, it was a rainforest. So there's a lot of monkeys over there. So I forgotten to keep my bag inside the wooden shelf and lock it. So the monkey came and ransacked my bag, and they took away my medication. So I prepared my medication for the 3 days, and they took it out. They thought it's sweet, so they took it out. They don't want to eat. Then they're like, oh, it's medicine. Then they pee. So they scattered all around the soil. And then after that, when I came back, I realized that my everything was like messy. So I looked at my medication, and it was like 30, right? So I said, okay lah. That means the universe want me not to take medication for this 3 days. So I didn't take. So for the next 3 days, it was very calm and peaceful because I was in nature. So when I go back to Singapore, I was like, since I didn't take for 3 days, right, maybe I can extend a bit longer.
You can try.
Yeah, I can try. Yeah. So after that, because in Singapore it's more stressful, right? Yeah. So I was listening to one Zoom class, and when I was listening, suddenly I feel like there's a need to laugh for no reason. It was not funny. The scenario was just a serious lesson. And I was like, ha 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 ha. Then I was like, something wrong with my mood. After that, then my tears rolled down. So I was like, so that means like after 3 days of not taking the medication, actually it affected my mood, and I started to laugh unconsciously, and also I cry. So I know that it is not good to stop the medication. So thereafter, I follow religiously to take my medication. I go for psychotherapy sessions, and it was really helpful. It's really helpful. I get to know more about my symptoms and my trigger points, and I get to manage my anxiety better. And yeah, so I think that medication, psychotherapy, and definitely counseling is helpful for me. And of course, community, yeah, the group of people that we associate ourselves with consciously. Like what I always think is that the top 5 people in our life that we mix around most in a week or a day, I think that is the most important people in our life, because they shape how we think, how we behave in a way lah. So I think we must really be very wise to choose who we want to interact with. Yeah.
So I want to ask about your relationship with your ex-husband and your son. How is it now?
Okay, so I would say that for my ex-husband, sad to say that we don't communicate nowadays. I respected his wish to stay non-communicating, and I just hope that I wish him all the best in his life, to really get to live the life that he like it to be. And I want to say one thing over here. I want to take this opportunity to say that he is really a very good person. It's just that maybe during that time we are still not so matured, so we didn't really take enough time to 经营 you know, like to manage, to cultivate our relationship in a marriage. If given a second chance, maybe things will be different. But I do respect his wish to move on, and you know, he's still in touch with my son. So he's still a role model for my son. So I'm happy that, you know, they are still interacting. My mom actually passed on in 2021. So about 2019 when I divorced, right? So I decided that I want a change. So I went to become a GrabFood delivery rider. So
before that,
before that I was a nurse. Not so a nurse, but a clinic assistant in one clinic for 5 years.
okay,
So I worked there for 5 years.
full time as a clinic assistant.
So I decided that at that time, my mom and my son are the two most important people in my life that I want to focus my attention on. So then I decided to go for like a freelance work lah. Okay, so
To spend more time.
Basically, because by the time is 2019 and my mom was not in the best of health. So I wanted to spend more time with my mom.
So what have you learned about yourself through being a single mother?
I learned that we need to take 100% full responsibility of our own life. We do not rely on other people. Like no one is obligated to do certain thing for us in our life. Like we need to learn to rely on ourselves and be independent. But we still can, you know, we can still do this thing called collaborations. You know, when you do not know certain things and this person know, so you can collaborate and create a win-win situation.
Who are the 5 or the few people that you in your life that you surround yourself with? What kind of people maybe? Who's your community?
Of course, my family members. So, and also people that I learn my metaphysics with. So I have a group of people that we come together because of affinity. Then of course also I got a group of people that we do the mindfulness walk together. So this is a very small group that, you know, we just started not long ago, a few months ago. So we decided that we wanted to do something for the community. So we group together and we go to botanical garden for walk, like 2-hour walk with just random people. So another 2 groups that I am engaging with is one is, can I share the name?
Yeah.
It's Growth Beans. Growth Beans is a social enterprise that are very focused in well-being of a person. I undergo their 4 full days of growth facilitation training, and I become one facilitator, and I volunteer in little growth circles that people come together in a small group and to share about their challenge in life. Then the last group that I am always feeling grateful with is the Singapore Adventurer Club. So Singapore Adventure Club, there's a story. So at first I didn't know about them, but one day I received a random email. Singapore Adventure Club alumni, please come together, we are having a meeting. So I was like, okay, my Singapore Poly Adventure Club. I thought it's a Singapore Poly Adventure Club, but it was different.
It was not the same.
So I made a mistake. So I went to the Singapore Adventure Club for that meeting. I look, where are all my seniors in the Singapore Polytechnic Adventure Club? There's no one, I didn't recognize. Then I saw someone, the president of the club. So the president of the club happens to be my friend's father.
Oh, okay.
Then I was like, oh, uncle.
Small world.
Yeah, Uncle Alex, I know you, uncle. Then I said, I came to the wrong place. He said, no, don't worry, just sit down. So that started my journey with Singapore Adventure Club. And now I'm in their management community, and helping out with the website design and the Facebook posting, and helping out with them with the membership as well.
You also said that you are a mental wellness trainer. What do people get to learn from you?
Okay, so basically, right, I will share with them more about how to identify the trigger points, the symptoms of a certain mental health condition like schizophrenia, depression, anxiety, and burnouts. These are the few that I'm more familiar with. And after that, I will also share with them about what are the different coping techniques they can explore to help them or their loved ones to overcome these situations. And I also will, along the way, I can share with them some of my method and my principles of being a better person in general. So I do have people coming up to me on an individual basis and want my coaching to guide them because they are feeling that their life are not so good and they want to get out of that downward spiral. So they feel that I can help them, and I just let them know that I first I thank them for their trust in me, and secondly I let them know that whatever that I cannot help you with, I will refer you to the resources.
What are some events or projects that are coming up for you in the next 5-6 months?
Oh, okay. So okay, on September 2nd, I should be able to graduate from my ACLP lah.
Oh, congratulations.
So I have already talked to about 2 training centers to offer my service as a freelance trainer for them in terms of mental wellness. I actually written to National Library Board and some charities about offering to speak to in their event. So they came back to me and said that they will probably schedule it for 2025. So there are more exciting plan about giving talk in library or even giving talk in charities, women empowerment group. Yeah.
How can people reach you?
They can actually go to my website at www.amykangmetaphysics.com. So inside this website will have my social media like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok. But the user ID are all the same. It's at Amy Kang Metaphysics.
So that's all the time that we have. But before we end this podcast, we should dedicate this podcast to somebody. So who would you like to dedicate this to?
Yeah, I would definitely like to dedicate this podcast to my sister, Ivy Kang. And I just want to tell her that I love her a lot because she has sacrificed a lot for me. She journeyed with me since day one of my schizo condition, and she never ever gave up on me. I remember 2 incidents. One is the recent one yesterday, and one is about a few years ago. So I was like feeling very down, and I just not in the mood to talk. I just say, okay, you go ahead and do your shopping. Let me stay here and be alone. Then she just sit there stubbornly, don't want to move. Then she say, if you want to stay here, I will stay here with you until you go. So I was like very touched with her dedication to make sure that I'm protected and well. Second one was yesterday night, because I was preparing for my talk and I said I need her idea. So she takes some time with me, and like she just give me the freedom to spend as much time as I want with her. When I was saying that I was tired, then she would buy a Milo for me. She never rushed me for that she never tell me that she's going to meet her husband and her daughter. And she just allowed me to spend whatever time I want with her. So she sacrificed her time for me without telling me that. So why do I know that? It's because after that, when I left that place, I go on the road and I was riding. I saw her husband and her daughter walking happily towards her direction. So I was like, oh, she actually sacrificed her time for me, and now then her daughter and her husband will go to meet her. She doesn't rush me. So I really feel like a bit like, wow, she really loved me and she really sacrificed a lot. So I really want to dedicate this podcast to her. I wish her and her family well and peace of mind for everything they do.
Okay, that's so nice. Okay, thank you so much, Amy, for being at this podcast, and thank you. Okay, bye.
Thank you.